Roll Tide, everybody. It is time for our edition of Sunday Rollback. Maybe not like we did last year, but early and throwing a show at you guys. 56-0 Bama wins. We'll talk about Alabama going into this Iron Bowl, concerns about the kicking game, what's going on around the SEC championship game, Auburn, who now Alabama plays, all that right here on the show. So make sure that you like and subscribe. And don't forget, we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. They want me to tell you that Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, Firehouse, Lita Ford, they're all going to be there on December 27th, 8 o'clock at the center stage. That's over at Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. So an hour and change from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. Great spot. I was just there last week, so check it out. All right, let's get this thing started. We got a lot to talk about today. Always great to talk with my man Cruz, so roll tide. All right, there he is. Cruz Oxenrider. I'm Mick Gillespie. Great to see you guys. Roll Tide and Cruz, let's get right into it. 56 zip. Thoughts on Bama just basically clobbering a team that had no chance in Eastern Illinois University.
Yeah, Tony Romo, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Sean Payton were walking through that door today. Yesterday. It was what we expect to come from, SEC bye week is what we like. Cupcake week is what the nation loves to call it. So they get to play theirs in week 1 and week 2. We play ours the last week, the week before rivalry week, which I've never really liked, to be honest. I've never been a fan of this week. I understand why we do it for the other schools, but not the biggest fan of it. I know this is probably going to be the last year that we do it, especially moving to a 9-game conference schedule. But yesterday, the things I guess you can take away from it, there's a few. One, the defense looks awesome. I feel kind of bad for Eastern Illinois for what we did to them. First drive of the game, Dejoun Lee, probably interception of the year, catches it off the guy's helmet like David Tyree in the Super Bowl. Bray Hubbard flying around like a man possessed. We took out a lot of aggression on those guys after losing to Oklahoma the week before. Offensively, we finally saw a pulse of a running game. 8 rushing touchdowns. First time we've done that in, I believe it was like 40 years. It looked everyone got involved against the AK Deer. We saw Daniel Hill. We saw Richard Young, Jam Miller. Even Austin Mack got into it. And then, of course, seeing some of the young guys. I think the future looks very bright. Keelan Russell. I'm so excited for this kid. The zip that comes off his arm when he throws the ball is ridiculous. I like this Pritchard kid that I watched yesterday. Young tight end, looked really good in situations, especially with Josh Cuevas being out with the injury that happened earlier this week. Edwards getting a little bit more time as well. So we didn't see too many shocking things. The injuries or the guys who didn't play yesterday were a little shocking. No Parker, no Germ, no Cuevas. Maybe it's just getting them ready for the Iron Bowl. These are the kind of games that you're like, hey, like no point in risking injury. That's why halftime I was more than okay with just, hey, get your reps in for the starters, immediately put in the second string is what we did. It was cool to see. And then of course, seeing some of the backups, we saw the 4th string and the 5th string quarterback get in yesterday, get those reps. Those are plays that those guys will remember forever. I was wanting them to get in. But I would say if there was a red side of it, I thought offensively when we were in, our passing game did not look well. Ty had a rough stat line. I'm not reading too much into it, mainly because, Germ was out, our starting center was out. We're rotating people in and out, getting them reps, trying not to get hurt, showing different looks. So I'm not reading way too much into this. I did think that Ty made a few throws yesterday where we were like, okay, you realize if we try that next week, that will blow up in our faces. I will say this kid, that his first interception, that kid from Eastern Illinois jumped out of the gym for that ball. He went up and got it. So that's one of those plays where you're like, okay, I underestimated this guy. And then the second one, throw to the end zone, last play before half. You kind of just chuck that up as like, okay, it's a gimme ball. And then the one glaring thing, which, I mean, how can we not talk about this? The kicking game. I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
I know.
This is the second week in a row we've came on the show we've had to talk bad about the kicker. Now, if anything, I put it out yesterday, maybe our long snapper should start yelling at him. I mean, you're missing chip shot, extra point field goals. That yes, luckily this game it didn't come into play a factor. But if you go into Jordan Hare and it comes down to a field goal game, I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that. I'd say go for it. If it's a 4th and 5, you go for it.
Well, they're gonna have to make some. Well, they're gonna have to make some decisions. Let me say this first, guys.
Yep.
That our show is presented by AveD, Mick Nation. Join Mick Nation. There's our QR code at the bottom of the screen. For those of you that are coming to the Iron Bowl show, it'll be Mike Johnson and Jake Coker will be off, even though he's on the little promotion banner right there. It'll actually be Mike Johnson and me at the floor Bama coming up on this Friday, Black Friday, 1 to 3. We're going to give away hats, and the first 20 people that come through and hang and say Roll Tide will get a hat. I gave away the last one this week, so
there you go.
2 of them taken.
How was the show this week?
It was great. But these trucker hats, we'll have them there. So come to the floor Bama and hang out. Now, if you can't get there, that's why I'm telling you about AveD. There you go. All you got to do is go there, pick games, be a part of everything we're doing there. We give away a hat a week on there as well. So along with cash, weekly cash winners and stuff like that. But it's all free. I mean, it's not like, this isn't like gambling. It's just, it's just like going there and picking, having fun. It's kind of a Web3 home. Eventually we'll have a store on there. And we'll do a lot more stuff there as we build it. But it's been cool to be part of that. Show was great. We enjoyed being at Innisfree. Now we didn't have the buzz that we had with Tennessee, LSU, and Oklahoma games, right? But it was still fun. It was a good way to kind of finish the season, and we appreciate Tripp and Sneed and all the gang over there for making it. Sneed's been great to work with this year.
They're the best, man. It's especially just from going there to being from everything. They're just the best bar in Tuscaloosa. I mean, it's close now. Granted, what if we have a home playoff game?
Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll be back. There's no way.
It'll be a lot more. It'll be a much better buzz than for Eastern Illinois. But you talk about kicking concerns. I want to kind of go over a lot of the stuff you talked about with yesterday's game. But kicking first, I am concerned. I think that I appreciate that Connor Talky is hearing it from the crowd. I think that he knows that. I don't mind him getting onto his holder and a snapper as much as some people do. That's not the thing that really bothers me. It's just, what bothers me is he's missing his kicks. He's got to make them. So whatever he's got to do this week, and those guys getting on the same page to get ready for the Iron Bowl, now's the time to do it. And can he turn it around in a week? He's still missing field goals, and you're right, they're chip shot field goals. And the other kid comes in and can't hardly even kick an extra point, but we cheered him real loud, even though when he made it, right? Yeah. So Alabama has to address this. As soon as the season's over, I don't know if Connor Talty's the guy that's kicking for me ever again.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't missed an extra point all year. Knock on wood. I mean, he's 40 for 40 on extra points. The things that's concerning to me, though,
just knocked on wood, by the way.
Yeah. So if you look at his stats, okay, so between 20 and 29 yards, he's 2 of 4. That's the concerning part. The chip shot field goals. Like if you're shooting 50% of that now. 30 to 39, he's 4 or 5. Okay, I can deal with that. That's not bad. I can deal with that. Now between 40 and 49 yards, he's 5 of 8. Okay, that's not terrible. And then if you go anything past 50, he's only attempted 1 kick that long all year, and he missed it. And if I remember correctly, it was by a pretty close margin. Now his longest of the year is 48. So it's not that I don't think he's a good kicker. It's not that. I think he's too inconsistent. I think with the gimme field goals is where I'm worried, where it's like, okay, like it's like I trust you from from 30 to between 30 and 45 yards. I trust you, which is shocking to say. But if I get anywhere between 20 to 25 to 30, I'm holding my breath. And it's things like that. It's the little things that you watch throughout the season. Those little things like the give me field goals, the holding penalties, the lackadaisical throws. Those things are going to come back and kill you this time of the year. Like, don't get me wrong, Auburn they're not that good of a football team. They've had a crazy year. I feel like every other year we're saying, God, they're going through an interim coach. They're doing this, but they are coming in next week to ruin your season. And if you make one of these plays, it can come back to cost you. It cost us in 2019. It cost us in 2017. It almost cost us in 2021, where Paul Tyson, bumbled the snap, and then thank God for Bryce Young. Like, these things will come back to bite you in the ass if we're not careful, especially against teams like A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss. If we get past this week and we make it to Atlanta, I mean, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll talk about Auburn later in the show because you bring up Deuce Knight. He had a huge game yesterday for the Tigers, and that's who probably Bama will face. Be interesting to see what happens. Guy that really hadn't played that much, but Alabama had its future stars on display. It's the best part about these games. I honestly wish that we had one of these games like in between all of those other games that we had with the 4 ranked teams and then South Carolina. And then, maybe if we could have broken up the LSU, Oklahoma, what was it? Tennessee. I don't know, just given like kind of having a week where you could do this, take a deep breath, rest guys, then, maybe the result would have been a little bit better because Alabama looked just a tad bit tired against Oklahoma, and as much mentally as physically. But we got a chance to see Austin Mack. We got a chance to see Keelan Russell. We got a chance to see A.K. Deer, and I loved it. I mean, honestly, I think that they should really consider playing A.K. Deer in meaningful snaps.
I could not agree more. I thought A.K. Deer, he has a different gear compared to every one of our running backs. I mean, he's a blazer, and then we haven't seen him play since Louisiana Monroe. So it's not like I understand, saving his red shirt, not wanting to blow a year eligibility, but we're getting to the point now where our running game has been so, lackluster. That we need that. I mean, he had 9 carries for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, again, I know it's against Eastern Illinois, but you watched him run compared to everybody else on that team.
Different
and
gear.
it's just different. I think going forward, and look, I'm not trying to pretend that I know more than Ryan Grubb or Kalen DeBoer or running backs coach or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, Jam Miller, I love him out of the backfield. I do not love him running in between the tackles. I thought he had a few nice runs yesterday. I think we found our running backs of the future. I think it should be Daniel Hill, it should be Kevin Riley, and it should be A.K. Deer. Right. I mean, we legit can have 4 running backs, possibly 5 if you want to include Daniel Hill in there. I mean, there's Daniel Hill, Richard Young, all those guys. Dre Washington, I know he's a transfer, hasn't really lived up to the hype this year. Maybe it's something different. But, I mean, Kevin Riley, I love this kid. I've loved him since the start. He filled in great for when Jam Miller was hurt. He came in. He reminds me so much of TJ Yeldon is who he reminds me of. Just the way he comes out of the backfield, the way he kind of glides, where he's almost like kind of effortless.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know that they're young, so that's the beauty of like, hey, we're gonna have these guys next year as long as we can keep them. I feel like we will. I think we gave A.K. Deer a lot of touches this week to kind of keep them happy. But if there's a way we can include them in the game plan, I think it would do wonders because it's almost like, okay, I feel like Jam Miller and Richard Young or Daniel Hill, they're kind of the same back. I mean, they're not going to wow you with their speed. They're just going to kind of bulldoze over you and catch you out of the backfield. And then you bring in AK and Kevin, where it's like, whoa, where did that come from with that speed? So, and then of course, like, look, Austin Mack is a physical freak stature-wise. Yeah. I mean, good God, the guy's got a cannon for an arm. But I'm sitting there and I'm watching number 12 play. I don't know how that's not your QB of the future. Like, I mean, he looks just different. I mean, it's almost like I don't, and I hate the comparisons of like, Bama quarterbacks and everything like that. But the way the ball comes off his hand,
like he's throwing darts.
I mean, it's accurate, it's spiral, it's clean. It looks like it's getting to where it needs to be effortlessly. It almost looks like Tua pre-injury. It almost looks like Bryce Young 2021, just like zipping it in there. Yeah. And so, I mean, as good as much as I like Austin Mack, and I've heard good things about him, and he is a physical freak of nature, I don't know how you keep 12 off the field next year if Ty decides to leave. I think this is your QB of the future. I mean, I think this is the guy that Kalen DeBoer, his offense could really truly unlock, like he did with Michael Penix. I think it could be like that kind of offense.
Yeah, no doubt. Guys, I want to remind you that if you want the crispy screen, our QR code, our promo code, I should say, is good for a couple more days. So you better take advantage of it.
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, it's a fine art. New Life Art is now accepting pre-orders for Daniel A. Moore's next Crimson Classic, the crispy screen, guys. What a name to commemorate the Fat Boys. This masterwork commemorates the screen pass to Caden Proctor that outsmarted Kirby and the Georgia defense. Proctor's catch and bulldog dozing run set up Ty Simpson's 3-yard touchdown just before the half, which was a big score for us, guys. Visit DanielMooreArt.com to see the artist's preliminary sketch and take advantage of a special pre-publication pricing for the crispy screen. Go ahead, get into that. Go get you one of those Caden Proctor prints. I'm super excited to get mine in because he's living a dream of all the Fat Boys. And go look up that crispy screen and get you one, guys.
All right, there it is, 25% off using the promo code Bama Tailgate, but that's not going to be good after tomorrow. So you better jump on it right now. Actually, the color version of it just came out, which is pretty cool too.
Did you see we did it yesterday as well? We were in the crispy screen yesterday.
Oh yeah. You gotta do it, right?
Well, I thought, if we were gonna score a touchdown today with him, I thought yesterday was gonna be the day to do it. I also don't like the side of we throw it to the near side of the sideline, and look, he's out there, but like he needs some room to wiggle because the blocking was actually well done by Rico Scott, which, by the way, hellacious blocker he is on the outside. And so, but you got a guy that big, he's got to wiggle through. Like he steps out, he had some room to run. We need to run it to the far side of the field and actually let him have a little chance to get there, or just let him bulldoze. So I mean, it actually counted as a rushing attempt because it was behind the line. It was a backwards pass, so he got a 1-yard rush out of it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, right?
The gift of Daniel A.
I thought I had the picture, but it was actually the commercial that they sent me. I was about to put it up here, and instead I got the same thing that Shank just did. So, yeah, I love it. I wonder if they're going to be creative. I mean, I would guess so, right? Like they're going to bust out some stuff that we haven't seen.
I would say so.
Yeah. Auburn game in this Iron Bowl. At least I hope so, right? I mean, they seem to come up with some pretty big things in these big rivalry games.
Well, yeah, and I tweeted out yesterday. I said watching this play calling today makes me think that we're just going to unload the clip on Auburn. Because, I mean, why would we show anything against Eastern Illinois? I feel like yesterday we kind of threw the crispy screen in there because it is Caden Proctor's last game at home. Like, he's going to go pro. So, I mean, I thought that was just a little bit of like, hey, thank you for everything. I thought we would try and get closer in the goal line. Which, I mean, we had plenty of opportunities yesterday, just handing the ball off at the 1,
Right.
and do it that way. But maybe he was like, no, I want to catch a pass instead of running in. But yeah, I think against this Auburn defense next week, they are going to be like the adrenaline going through them. And we've seen this the last couple years that we have played in Auburn, that the Auburn defense plays with their hair on fire. Like they come after you. And if you look at what they have on defense, they're a good, talented defense. I mean, they have studs on that front 7. I thought yesterday they got a little bit by Mercer, and maybe that's just like, hey, they're looking ahead already. Happens. But
Mercer was 9-1. I mean, for their level of football, they're pretty good.
Mercer's a really good program. They always have been. We played them a few times. They're a proud program, and that was kind of one of those games where Auburn has looked ahead to the Iron Bowl before. I mean, what was it? New Mexico State a few years ago with Diego Pavia. Week before the Iron Bowl, they got guy. They are going to play so aggressively that I feel like Grubb and DeBoer are going to have to find a way to kind of keep them on their heels, make them uncomfortable, not be predictable. Like, and I think we will do that. I feel like a lot of misdirection. I feel like a lot of eye candy. I don't think we'll get as cute with like the trick plays that we have unless we really need it. I feel like that's something to look out for. But I'm after watching them play defensively and what we have going on, my nerves are kind of calming a little bit. I will say though, I'm still at about a 7 on the worry scale.
Really?
Yes, I am. I feel
it's the Iron Bowl. I mean, we're always worried, right?
Well, it's not just the Iron Bowl. It's the Iron Bowl at Jordan-Hare with something on the line.
Yeah.
And I've seen this movie so many times over the last just going back to 2000.
Don't you think this is the year though where we go down there and just kick their ass because they're not that good?
But here's the thing: nothing that we have done all year has shown me that we can go kick their ass. I mean, even look at
a tight game.
Well, look at the last 2 times we've gone down to Auburn. We were better than them in every aspect of the game. We outcoached them. We have better players. Nick Saban went head to head, like wire to wire, with Brian Harsin and Hugh Freeze, and it took 2 miracles to get out of there with
it did.
So
it really did.
That's the only thing I'm really concerned about. It's not that I think Auburn's a better football team than us. They're not. My problem is that I know how we play on the road against competition since DeBoer's gotten here. And I know and this is his first time going to Jordan-Hare too. So that's something else. So he doesn't know like what this game is really like. And there's only a few players on this team currently that actually were there for the 4th and 31.
Yeah, that's true. Look, I mean, this is it's a rivalry game. It's a tough game. We normally just destroy them in Tuscaloosa, and it's always a challenge down there, even when we have much better teams. But the better team normally wins the Iron Bowl.
Yeah,
like that's just the way it is. Like, think about when they came in with Cam and we had the huge lead and blew it. They were better. I mean, they won the national championship. It's one of the best players in college football history. I got to tell you guys, and I love watching Cam on his podcasts. I mean, I know he's not one of our guys, but he's pretty entertaining.
He's funny.
I love the outfit. I love the outfit.
He keeps it real, which is what I really like. He does keep it. I've actually surprised. I do enjoy his podcast and his show. I think he gives a unique spin on a lot of his takes because he doesn't sugarcoat a lot of things, which I love.
No.
Like he talks about the way he talks about like the SEC is king. He talked about like Alabama really runs the state, not Auburn, kind of thing. And I like the way how he just kind of keeps it real from a player and a national champion perspective as well.
Right. Yeah, no doubt about it. And but then like the other years, even though we didn't have great games, we won. Yeah. Now it's time. I can see us just going down there and playing a great game. I just think we will. I think part of that is they look so bad against Oklahoma, and and blew it, and I just think that they're going to be locked in, but it'll be loud. It'll be tough. Yeah. And,
night game.
Night game and all that stuff. But look, I mean, doesn't matter when you play. We always remember these. Auburn's definitely got a chance. The spread's going to come out around 5. Tells you that they think Auburn can win. And they're, and I would probably take Auburn if I was betting, because what chances are, Bama wins, it's going to be really close, right? Yeah. But that's normally when we're all wrong. I mean, we thought we were going to beat Oklahoma, and we didn't. We didn't show up. So I think that it's, I just feel like this is one of those years where I wouldn't be surprised if we played a really good game. And I think that as well as Deuce played, and he played great, that was against nobodies. I mean, you go out there and you may have a good first quarter. They make a few adjustments. You throw a couple picks, game's over. Yeah.
I got to say something. Where the hell has this kid been all year? And what was Hugh Freeze doing with this football team?
Yeah,
I mean, good God. I mean, look, DJ Durkin got the most out of this guy. And look, I know it was against nobodies, but to do what he did in one half of football was almost video game like. I mean, and he was a 5-star coming out of high school. We haven't. I think this is the first time he's played all year, to be honest. And to go out and do what he did. I mean, first play of your college career, you run for a 75-yard touchdown. I mean, that's really cool. And good for him. I mean, I'll put it like this: he is going to be like the Nick Marshall kind of wrinkle in their offense, kind of like the 2013, 2014 kind of vibes. I know that they're not apparently going to start him, which I don't know if I really agree with, because the other guys haven't been that great. I mean, this guy, if he comes in, there's so little film on him that you don't really know his game that well. You just you know that he's explosive in the run game. He's got a bit of an arm. He's got. I watched some of the throws he made, and granted, they weren't the cleanest throws in the world, but he got it there. And I think that would be like a little bit of an unknown element. But your first, your second start ever in an Iron Bowl would be as an 18-year-old freshman would be a lot to put on a kid.
And I hope they do it. Because it won't turn out good for them. And they know that. They know that he's an explosive talent. And the fact that they waited this long could mean that this kid's going to get a lot of money in the transfer portal.
Well, I mean,
typical Auburn,
I mean, they thought that, he was he originally committed to Notre Dame. Then, then he flipped, because the freeze warning kind of pushed where they got all these kids. And then Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin made a really big push at him because he's from Mississippi. So, and then if you look a few weeks ago, he took all of his like Auburn football stuff out of his bio and everything like this. So maybe this was hey, let me get some film kind of game. Be like, hey, let me get some, and he's going to go somewhere else. Maybe he goes to LSU with Lane Kiffin.
Right.
Maybe you never know.
Good transition. It's time for a little fun with Kalshi because we have used Kalshi to help us figure out what's going on with Lane Kiffin. It's basically our look at the markets, right? And, and seeing where the markets think that Lane Kiffin is going to end up, right? So you get $10 free when you sign up with our code Bama Tailgate and you trade $100. And it's legal in all 50 states. Better odds because you don't have house vig prices set up by supply and demand. It's basically like a commodities market, right? On ideas. No limits. Winners don't get cut off. You can trade live. No blocking mid-game. Flexibility. Cash out early anytime. Transparent pricing. You can watch odds move over time, and it's beyond just football, right? And we're going to talk about some stuff other than football. We got some good ones today on Kalshi.
Ooh, okay.
So at last, I did a show, and we did the Kalshi thing. We had Florida as the number one destination for the Lane train, right? Well, It was like 50, I think. Let me put it up here. just because I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I know it was really high. And now the markets take that a full screen. Lane Kiffin at Florida, it got all the way up to 73%, 76%.
Wow.
And now, current times, Jed Fish is up to 24. He's got Florida ties, right? And Lane Kiffin down to 35%. So Lane to Florida is trending down. Jed Fish is trending up. Does this surprise you at all? Because I don't think Florida's out on him. I just think that this is far from being decided here.
Well, I mean, we talked about it before the show. I think after that atrocious performance last night in the Swamp, you do what you have to do to go get Lane Kiffin. Like you throw the kitchen sink at him. You match what LSU reportedly threw at him at $90 million. You go get Lane Kiffin because there's not a lot of people that can fix this job at Florida. He's one of them. And look, no disrespect to Fish. He's no Lane Kiffin. You need to go get a guy. Like you need a superstar coach. And I feel like they're going to make a late push. I can't wait for this Egg Bowl on Friday. I mean, the day after Thanksgiving. I mean, it's going to be awesome because everyone's just going to talk about it. There's no really other big games that night, but besides the night game at A&M and Texas. So everyone's just going to be watching this. I wish there was a bet of how many times they were going to talk about the coaching, like where's Lane going to go during the show? Because I would bet the over on it all day.
You know, it's crazy. I'm looking at the odds right now for the Iron Bowl, and they're not out. I mean, I'm going to dig them. They're not on ESPN. Every other game is.
Okay.
And so I'm going to try, while we're sitting here, I'm going to try to look and see what the odds are. Maybe we can even use Kalshi for that. But you're right. I mean, the Egg Bowl's Friday, and there's like this. I don't know if it's true or not, but we're being told that Lane's kind of been given hey, we need to know something because Ole Miss wants him to stay. There's reports that LSU is, is paying him or willing to pay him $90 million, right?
Yeah.
And so what do the markets tell us about LSU? Let's go ahead and throw that up there, and then you get right to your point. But, the markets tell us that they think Lane Kiffin is going to be at LSU, and it is trending in an upward trajectory right now. Look at it. It got all the way up to 79%. 3 a.m. on the 22nd, right? So that was today. That was yesterday. So we're at right now trending up around 59-60%. Eli Drinkowitz, Joe Brady, and then John Summerall, but it drops off dramatically.
Yeah.
Nick Saban down to 3%. At one point, Saban was the guy that they thought was going to be the coach at LSU. So do you think he goes to LSU?
I mean, how do you turn down $90 million? I mean, that's insane. Look, I love Lane Kiffin. I think he is good for the sport. He's like that lovable villain that like if he's never coached for your team, you hate him, like you can't stand him.
Right.
But if he has, I mean, he's just so like he's so infectious. Like he really is. I mean, he's a villain that you love to root for sometimes, and I'm rooting for him. To get offered $90 million for never winning a national championship is insane.
For being a buffoon for a lot of his jobs. I mean, a complete buffoon. Like not the offensive coordinating stuff, but guys, the off the field stuff. He's been a complete idiot, and you know what? Give him credit, like you said. He just keeps popping back up like herpes or something.
I mean, he's the Lane train. I mean, he's Joey Freshwater. I mean, he there will be three things that survive the apocalypse: it's Twinkies, cockroaches, and Lane Kiffin coaching rumors. I mean, that's going to be it. I mean, there's still a part of me that think he's going to stay at Ole Miss. If I have to put money on one of them, I'm saying. Well, here you go.
So glad you said that because that's next. What do you think here? Will Lane leave Ole Miss before Friday? That is our next. And this one on Kalshi. $270,000 exchanged on this one right now.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah. Well, I've been told this by an LSU person who covers LSU for media and an Ole Miss person in media. He's coaching the Egg Bowl. Like that is for sure happening.
So you say
he's
no.
not leaving.
94% of the money on Kalshi agrees with you.
Granted, he might already know his decision of what he's going to do, but I know unless something dramatic happens like that, where the school he picks says like you ain't coaching, or Ole Miss says you can leave, he's coaching in the Egg Bowl. Like that is happening. He's making the decision the 28th apparently. So that would be after. So I think it's after, like right after the game, the Egg Bowl. It's either the day after or at the press conference after the game. I mean, it would be the most Lane Kiffin thing in the world to beat the hell out of Mississippi State and then, basically clinch a playoff spot, and then getting interviewed by, I don't know, Alyssa Lang or something like that after the game and said, yeah, I can't wait to stay here and win a national championship. I'm, not going anywhere. Just announce it to the world. Being like, hey, the Lane train is staying in Oxford. And I think, granted, do I think he's handled the situation well? No, I don't think he has. But I mean, when has Lane Kiffin ever handled a situation well?
Yeah.
Like, this is not out of the ordinary. I think he's going to stay. I think this team is a dark horse to win a national championship. I think that I really think they are. I think if they get a good seed, they get a home game in Oxford. Wow. I like what they do offensively. Look, I personally don't like the guy, but Pete Golding, I think, has done a pretty damn good job this year besides the Georgia game, which they should have won. They're a good, solid football team. And I think they can get somebody. I mean, in a second round matchup, rather it be in Indiana, rather it be in A&M, rather it be an Ohio State. Like I think this team I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they have a damn good shot to upset and ruin someone's season.
Yeah, well, that's what makes this even more interesting.
I know. Like how do you leave a team that's number 6 in the country? Like how do you leave
and a lock to make the college football playoff if you win on Friday? But the most Lane thing would be Mississippi State beats him on Friday.
Oh my God.
Get the popcorn comment and then Bama beats Ole Miss with Saban. This is so much fun to follow. Now I want to change gears now.
Yeah.
Because we can't take our eyes off of this. He better have his team ready because Mississippi State could beat them just the same way that Auburn could beat Alabama if we don't go in there and play well. There's been a lot of talk about Kalen DeBoer potentially going to Penn State. Now, I'm going to tell you guys the same thing I said on the Tailgate Show Friday. It irritates me and it's the same thing with Lane Kiffin, but the Ole Miss isn't my team, so they can do whatever they want. But here, it's like we've paid this guy, his staff. We've gone out and helped buy players for him. We've done everything. We've supported the team. And he hasn't done anything yet, in my opinion, to deserve an extension or a raise. And it feels a lot like this is one of those agent moves that you have to try to make more money. Look, beat Auburn, win the SEC, make a run to the national championship, win the national championship. Hey, and I have no problem giving you as much money as we can possibly give you to keep you around for a long-term thing. But you lose too many games to teams you're supposed to beat. There's games where you look like you're absolutely unprepared for. You've played great in some other games, but there's no consistency as far as what we're getting right now. And I mean, I guess that's kind of the way that it is everywhere else. I think he's doing a good job, and I don't want to get rid of him. But to me, it just feels like these agents look at an opportunity to make a little cash. Or the other thing is maybe he seriously would consider leaving for Penn State, which isn't as good a job as Alabama. So what do the Kalshi markets say? Before we hear from you, Cruz, let me throw this up.
Oh, man.
Kalshi isn't buying it at all.
Okay.
Kalshi has DeBoer, up 2 spots to number 14. So they think that he's got 14% of the $800,000 that have been exchanged in this market. But Bob Chesney, who I don't even know who that is, 33%. I'm sure you've heard of him. I have no clue. Eli Drinkowitz at 19%. He's going to leave Missouri. They're going to be terrible. Then DeBoer, Brett Key, Brian Hartline. I've heard of him. Terry Smith. So I know some of these guys. Yeah. I don't know Chesney, but that seems to be the guy who is number one right now. So Kelsey's not buying DeBoer there. Yeah, who is he?
He's the head coach at James Madison.
Oh, okay.
Really young, really good coach. I mean, he's someone. He kind of the same thing with Coach Sig. I mean, James Madison just popping out head coaches. Look, the whole Penn State situation is interesting. So I asked around about it to see like how real it was, and the most authentic answer I got back was, let's just beat Auburn so we don't have to worry about this. So, this is just me going off of what I've been told and what I've been hearing. Apparently they aren't the family is not exactly happy in Tuscaloosa. Rather, because let's just be real, Seattle, Washington's a lot different than Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Really? So they don't like Tuscaloosa, huh?
I guess not. I guess it's been a rough adjustment from just, what I've been told. And, I hate hearing that because, I know it is a tough adjustment and but I mean, it was also tough adjustments for the Sabans when they got here. I mean, you lose to Louisiana Monroe and Nick Saban can't even get served at a gas station. It's tough, but I mean, I will say this about the situation with DeBoer. I like him as a coach. Do I think he can get it done? Yes. Do I think it's this year? I don't know. I really don't. But I think that he can get it done. Look, Saban. It took Saban 3 years to get to a natty. So it wasn't just overnight. Like it took some time because he had to get his players in, and then look what happened. I'm not saying DeBoer can do exactly the same, but I feel like he is getting his guys in. We're seeing little sprinkles of the future of what it can be coming in. Penn State is a very interesting job, though. And I'm not saying that if we, let's just say hypothetically, we lose the Iron Bowl, I think those odds are going to pop up a lot higher because, one, as well as I do, our fan base and our boosters have a very high standard because we've been spoiled the last, almost 20 years with the greatest coach of all time. And then at that point, let's just say he does go. Who do we get? Like, who are we going to replace him with?
Lane Kiffin. There's people that
it will, as much as I would love that to happen.
You would love that, huh?
I would love it, but there are higher powers than me that will never let that happen.
You know the same thing I know. You know exactly. You know the same people because Lane made such a joke of the off the field stuff. As much as some of you guys want to see him at head coach, it's not our decision. Yeah. They're not going to let it happen because of the liability that he created by his actions, just to be honest with you.
Let's just say Mobile doesn't forget, okay? like the 251 does not forget. It's been years. It's been almost, think about it, it's been almost 10 years. Yeah. But, I mean, it's still one of those things where I don't even know if he got a call, like, in the coaching search. Exactly. So that's how it's been left up. I mean, My dream scenario is, and obviously I hope he doesn't leave, but like if he leaves, you throw a blank check at D'Amico Ryans and you go get him.
Ooh.
Like I love D'Amico Ryans. I
wonder if he could recruit. Yeah, but he's a hell of a coach in the NFL.
He's a hell of a coach in the NFL. He's young. He's energetic. He reminds me of a little bit like that Kirby Smart personality where he just gets into it. You see him on the sidelines.
Yeah.
You see him just hype up his players. He's a players coach, but also All-American at Bama, didn't play under Saban, which is interesting. I mean, I think he would crush recruiting because you got an NFL linebacker, a guy who's coached in the NFL. He knows what it takes to get there. I think he'd hire a really great staff,
Mhm.
And I think he would do a fantastic job if we could lure him away.
Yeah, if we get to that point. Hopefully,
Yeah,
DeBoer
hopefully not.
beats Auburn, and we're not worried about this. All right, we're going to talk about the SEC going into rivalry week, but I want to tell you guys about Bod Coach.
We're presented by Bod Coach, and you can tell I'm slimming up over here, and it's because of Bod Coach. This is absolutely amazing. It's your personal trainer that is with you 24/7. So when I go to hotels or when I'm on the road, I type in, "Hey, look, I got equipment. This is what I have," and it'll make a workout specifically for me, what I want, what exercises I want. When I'm at home or I'm in a hotel and there's no way I can get to the gym, it'll say, "Hey, this is what I want to work on today," and it sends you personalized workout plans. It's really awesome. And they contacted me a few weeks ago to be a spokesman. I said, "Well, I want to try this." Bod Coach is fantastic. Like, I use it all the time. I mean, and if I'm telling you, man, like, it makes working out when you are on the go like me so much better. Just because I don't always know I didn't play football at Alabama. I didn't have Scott Cochran yelling, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and telling me what workouts to do. So anyway, I'm going to put in the body on the YouTube all about Bod Coach. Get you guys signed up there, but tell them you heard it on Bama Tailgate.
All right, thank you, Bod Coach. And it really is great, man. I've got a wrist issue, and it will send me workouts where I can, do workouts from the hotel, right? That won't mess up my wrist. I messed up my back playing kickball a few weeks ago, so I had to work through that. But then it's almost like a doctor too. It's like, hey, how you feeling today? It's AI generated. It's awesome, man. I absolutely love it. I didn't work out yesterday, and I got a message from Evan, my Bod Coach, saying, "Hey, it's all right. We'll get back on track tomorrow." I had like a run of like 9 straight days of working out. So,
well, I was on the road for 20 straight days. So I went back to the gym. What was this? Thursday. And I am so sore right now. I'm actually, after we're done with this, I'm going to go get a lift in before the NFL games. But I mean, plus up to this time of the year, I mean, carbs aren't a thing anymore.
I know, dude. Got to cut them out myself. I was thinking about this yesterday, but yeah, you should check it out, man. The Bod.
Oh, for sure.
Just go on there and look at it. bod.coach/Bama.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, if you're, the thing for me is just giving me like workouts that I can do, when I'm not, I don't have a home gym, so I mean, I'm on the road now. I think that my schedule is actually going to make it where I'm here a lot more, which is good. But all right, let's talk rivalry week. Gotta get that out right. We got Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday, which is always great. So just right in the Bod Coach. But the first big game is number 6 Ole Miss in Davis Wade Stadium. That is Starkville, Mississippi, to take on Mississippi State. Ole Miss is an 8.5-point favorite. 62.5 is the over-under. Lane Kiffin is rumored to be leaving, which is always great when you're trying to win a football game when your coach might be going somewhere else. And Mississippi State, to me, has been one of the worst teams with the lead late in games this year. Maybe this is the time where they are able to figure it out. They blew it against Tennessee. They blew it against Florida. And then they blew it against, they didn't have the lead against Florida, but all they had to do was kick a chip shot to win it, and they threw an interception. And then they absolutely just pissed down their leg against Texas. They had like a 17-point lead at the end of the game and somehow lost. Can they do it this time?
No, not at all. I don't even think they'll have the lead to even flirt with it. I mean, this game is going to, this will probably, I can't remember an Egg Bowl that was more hyped up than this.
Yeah.
I mean, this game is just going to be must watch. I mean, I might play a drinking game where you take a sip every time they talk about where Lane Kiffin going to be next year.
Yeah, right.
I think this game is Ole Miss knows what's in front of them, regardless of the Lane Kiffin situation or not. You have a locked, guaranteed spot in the playoffs. If all you just do is win, you don't have to go to Atlanta most likely, unless the apocalypse happens and everyone loses. Like you're going to get an extra bye week, an extra week of practice. You're going to host a home playoff game in Oxford. Just go in, dominate, You're the better team. Get out. I think they win this game easy. I don't think this game is even close. I think Mississippi State is a feisty team. I will give them that, but I think there's just too much on the line for this Ole Miss team, and I think they dominate.
God, I'm looking at the schedule. That's 11 o'clock on Friday. So we got the tailgate show, so you guys will be able to watch some football while we're doing the tailgate show at the Floor Bama. We'll have the games on in there. And then the other thing is we're going to have to navigate the tailgate show so that because, it airs on Saturday. So we've got to kind of work through this. I realize how good the games are because the 2:30 game is number 4 Georgia, one loss against Bama this year, playing in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which I was almost going to call it the Dome, against number 16 Georgia Tech. And if you remember last year, Tech could have beat them. It was like a 4 overtime game. Georgia's a 13.5 point favorite. 59.5 is the over-under. Tech putting it in that Dome, they'll make a lot more money, but they'll also turn it into a Georgia home game.
Yeah, I mean, this game, so last year, funny enough, it was an 8 overtime game, and Georgia Tech had this team dead to rights.
8 overtimes?
It's 8 overtimes.
Wow, okay, so I thought it was 4. Double that.
If I'm not mistaken, they had like a 20-point lead in the fourth, and Georgia clawed their way back. I remember watching this game actually at Industry, watching this game because it was a Friday game in Athens last year. Look, Haynes King, I think is honestly one of my favorite players to watch this year. There was a rough loss against Pitt. They clawed their way back down from 20 2 different times last night, and just couldn't get it done. Georgia's in a very peculiar spot right now because it's almost like they have a guaranteed spot kind of locked up already. Excuse me. And they have a guaranteed playoff spot locked up already. They might not even have to play in Atlanta next week, depending on how everything works out. So I think this game's going to be a little bit closer than it should, only because of like Georgia really doesn't have to, like, this isn't a make or break game for them. They can lose,
right,
still get in. Georgia Tech, I mean, this is the one thing that they're fighting for right now is just to put a dent in their season. I'm trying to remember, when's the last time Georgia Tech beat Georgia?
Dude, I'll look it up. It's been forever.
I want to say 2016 was the last time. I think it was Kirby's first year, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like that's the last time they beat them, and I feel like this Georgia team right now, they look good, they're playing well. I think this Georgia team's a legit capable national championship contender. Gunnar Stockton looks like a totally different quarterback.
Yep, 2014. Yep.
So even
30-24.
Yeah, so even Mark Rick era, they haven't beaten him.
No, 2016.
2016. Okay, so Kirby's
there
first
it
year.
is.
Yeah, okay,
28-27.
Okay, so I think Georgia Tech.
Now
yeah. So I think Georgia Tech plays them close. What's currently the spread right now?
The spread of this football game, once again, is 13.5.
I think Georgia wins. I feel like Georgia Tech covers. I feel like Georgia Tech is a good enough team to at least keep it within 10. But I will say this. I know that's going to be at Mercedes-Benz. That's going to be a Georgia home game. You know that as well as I do.
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of barking.
Oh yeah. All right. So then you got that night, Friday night. You got number 3 Texas A&M, 11-0, 7-0 in the SEC, but haven't played anybody in the conference. All the bottom feeders. And they take on number 17 Texas, 8-3, 5-2 in the conference. And A&M is a slight favorite, 2.5, which really, to me, I would say that pretty much makes it an even line, right? 51.5 is the over-under. This is what we wanted. I mean, when we took Texas A&M, and then we went and got Texas, they didn't play this for a couple years because, they were kind of like, hey, now they're back, and this is a big one.
Yeah, first time back in Austin in, over 10 years. I think this game is going to be incredible. God knows what the ticket prices on those are.
Yeah.
I know
all
last
that
year,
oil money going into
there's a lot of oil money, man. I feel bad for like the fans that actually want to go. There's going to be a lot of rich people in that stadium. look, I watched Texas yesterday. You know, Arch by far had the best game of his career. Hell, he even caught a touchdown pass yesterday, which was awesome. He's got good hands. I saw that catch. He's got some hands. But A&M is just a different level team. I think A&M is a real deal. I don't think that they're frauds. I mean, they proved it to me last week coming back down from 27 points at home at halftime. Like, you could have laid down and just like, you know what, we're going to lose by 40 to a bad South Carolina team. No, they came out and they dominated. They ripped Shane Beamer's heart out in front of them. I think Texas A&M runs the table. I think this game is going to be fun to watch. I think Marcel Reed is a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate. I don't think he's going to win it, but he should at least be invited to New York. I think that they get the job done. I think they go into Austin. They finish the regular season undefeated. And then they go to Atlanta, and then they wait for either Bama or Georgia.
Okay, there you go. All right, that would be interesting. I'll tell you what, if they beat Texas, man, they're on a roll.
Yeah.
You got the Iron Bowl. We talked about that. Still don't have a line on that game. I'm going to look while we're talking about some of these other ones. Kentucky, Louisville, you know, hey, look, 5-6, 7-4, that one doesn't matter. Clemson and South Carolina. That is 11 o'clock on Saturday. South Carolina's a 2.5-point favorite at home. 47.5 is the over/under. Been a weird season for Dabo Swinney. His name's kind of popping up in other coaching jobs. Could you imagine him leaving to go to Arkansas or something else? I mean, you know,
or Auburn.
Wouldn't that be something? How about LSU and Oklahoma? You know, LSU 7-4. Obviously, they looked like crap yesterday, so that one's not really worth talking about. Now, this one is to me, and it's the first time I ever remember Vanderbilt playing for something when it really matters. Right? Yes. 2:30 on Saturday. Number 14 Vandy at number 20 Tennessee. Vanderbilt wins. They're 10-2. They have I think a legitimate shot to make the college football playoff, but Tennessee's been their daddy. I mean,
this is going to rock. I think this game, Michigan, Ohio State at noon, then this game at 2:30, and then the Iron Bowl right after. I mean, that's what my TV will be on.
Yeah, man.
This game is. This is the Diego Pavia legacy game. I really genuinely think so. I mean, this game has everything you want. I think if Vandy wins, they get in. I mean, the ratings alone for Vanderbilt and a Heisman Trophy invitation, and there's so much on the line in this game. Now, Tennessee, look, I didn't think Tennessee would be this year. I thought, you know, they take a step back with everything they lost, offseason drama. They've actually surprised me a little bit. I think they are a good team. I think they are deserving of their ranking. But man, the story of Diego Pavia going into Neyland and beating Tennessee and planting the flag in the middle of that block tee, and just, you know, what a way to go out. You know, he's already, 35 years old, still playing college football, and he could do this. But I mean, look, I watched that game against Kentucky yesterday. He was throwing some dots. I mean, Vandy's a legit team, and I'm not saying they can come in, but I wouldn't be surprised if they got a good first game matchup in a playoff game, and they ended somebody's season. I legit think so. We've seen them do it. I mean, we've seen them against Bama, we've seen them against LSU, we've seen them against Texas. You know, they're a good team that plays good defense.
Right.
They don't make a ton of mistakes, and they just kill the clock every time. So I want to see this so bad. I am rooting, and I can honestly say this, I am rooting for Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia to go to Neyland and shock the world and clinch a college football playoff spot. And I never thought those words.
But the spread's 3.5. Tennessee's the favorite. 64.5 is the over/under.
Oh,
so you think if they win, they clinch a spot? Because some people don't think that it's necessarily a clinch, but it'd be hard to keep them out, I would think.
I think your only two losses are to a Bama team that is most likely going to make the college football playoffs and a Texas team that a lot of people pick preseason number 1, and they lose to them on the last drive of the game, came down to an onside kick. They came back from, I think, 21 to get close to it. And you've dominated everyone you played except that. And you go into Neyland, and you do, and you also got to remember too, like, we've seen this committee be corrupt before when it comes to rankings where, hey, it's not just about your resume, it's about storylines. Because if it's just straightly about resume, Notre Dame wouldn't be ranked right now.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm supposed to be impressed that you beat Syracuse 3-7, Syracuse 70-7.
Let's run through Notre Dame's schedule because I know it's terrible.
Well, now after the USC loss yesterday, I don't know if they'll have one ranked win. Like, that's it. I mean, the two best teams you played in Miami and Texas A&M, you lost. And then you go and you beat up a bunch of service schools. No disrespect to any of them. And then Boise State, who's had a down year. Boston College, Syracuse. Like, am I supposed to be impressed by that?
Hey, they lost the tough game at Miami, and then they lost by 1 to Texas A&M. But the committee doesn't seem to care about our tough loss. Apparently that one means more. They beat Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, NC State, USC, Boston College, Navy, Pitt, and Syracuse. I mean, if those are wins for any good team.
Yeah.
Not one trap in that entire thing. Now, I think the reason that the committee put them ahead of Alabama was just for the fear, the sheer fact that they just want people talking about it because they got to have controversy somewhere.
Because I'm watching these games yesterday, and even people who went to Notre Dame or played at Notre Dame are like, there's no reason they should be ranked, and people are going to be like, oh, but Florida State was a bad loss in week 1, and be like, okay, you lost in week 1. Well, week 1 shouldn't matter. They're so long ago. Okay, so you got to make up your mind. Does week 1 matter or does it not? Because you're going to tell me that Notre Dame hasn't gotten better than those from week 1 because Bama has. Bama went out, beat Georgia at Georgia, beat Vandy at home, beat Missouri on the road, beat Tennessee, went to South Carolina, beat LSU, and then played a 2-point game against Oklahoma, which, by the way, they're a playoff team. So you can't have it both ways. You can't. No. So you either got to say, hey, chalk week 1 up to a mulligan. We lost to and the Florida State loss looks worse and worse and worse every week. They're awful. Mike Norvell will probably not have a job by the end of the day, but I will take a horrible week 1 loss than a horrible week 10 loss any day of the week. So, and I don't think. And people are like, oh, they're getting away with a mulligan. No, we're not. We dropped 20, we dropped the 20 or 21. Like, it wasn't just a mulligan. And then if I remember correctly, Florida State got propped up all the way to the top 10. At one point, I believe they were 7 going into that Miami game, and then they just imploded. So it's not like Bama just like, oh, they only fell back 2 spots. No, they almost got knocked out of the top 25. Right. And then what they did is they rallied off 8 straight wins, 4 against ranked teams, first time in SEC history, and then played a tough South Carolina team at home. And then they played an LSU team who had just fired their coach, who a lot of people picked to win the SEC and the national championship. And then you play an Oklahoma team who a lot of people picked them as a dark horse in the beginning of the year. So it's not like we've been playing this scrub schedule like Notre Dame has or Oregon has or Ohio State or Indiana, where you get to play 5-5 Rutgers in November, or you get to play 2-9 Purdue. Like, we play legit teams. I mean, if you think about it, 2 of the teams we beat or three of the teams that we have played this year will be in the playoffs most likely in Georgia, Vandy, and Oklahoma. So how are you going to? So and we go 2-1 against those teams. Like, you can't have it these ways. I'm so sick of it. Yeah.
We definitely have gotten hosed on some of this stuff. Crew's awesome show here on this Sunday. Appreciate you as always, brother. And I want to remind you guys again, December 27th, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Twisted Sisters, Dee Snider, Lita Ford, you know her from that amazing song with Ozzy, and then Firehouse. They're all going to be there at the center stage. That's at Silver Star at Pearl River Resort. Tickets available now. And that's going to be a great show if you guys like, 80s rock. It's good. And I mean, go pull it up on your Apple, and you'll be like, oh man, I love these songs. You're like, I want to rock. And then Firehouse has a bunch of good songs. So check them out. Also, Coker and I just got back from Pearl River filming the next of his commercials. And so enjoy this one. You got the Timeout Sports Lounge over there, which he's promoting in this one right here, the sports book. But it's Vegas style sports book, and it's a short drive. I made the drive Thursday, and we left Pearl River and we went to Tuscaloosa, and it was not that long at all. It was an easy drive. Like hour and a half, I think, or maybe a little more than that. And Birmingham's like 2 hours, but it's Vegas. It's Vegas. You walk in there, you got 20 big screen TVs, full size bar. You got the window where you can place bets, and this kiosks if you don't need the lady there helping you. You got your own kiosk if you just want to sit there and flip games. And I mean, like, it's like a whole station. Like you just sit there and play, and But they got everything you need over at Pearl River Resort. All right, Cruz, roll tide, brother.
Roll tide. Hopefully,
we'll be talking about Atlanta and a matchup with Texas A&M when we talk again. We won't be sad.
Hey, tell you what. If the show's a little later on Sunday, we know why.
Yeah, right. One way or the other. All right, roll tide, brother.
Roll tide.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.